Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the staggeringly low ratings that WWE has been facing the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to be diving in and giving my thoughts on this and how I feel that WWE can rectify and do better moving forward, because they're really on a downward spiral, so to speak. But before I get into that, it is super imperative that if you like my content, you subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscription button, as well as tapping the notification bell to ensure that you are notified every time I upload a video. Yes, you do have to actually tap the notification bell to ensure 100% notifications every single time I upload. Just tapping the subscription button doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to be notified. The bell basically notifies you every single time. So tapping the bell is essential. So now getting into my topic about WWE's shockingly low ratings as of late. It's awful. The way that the company is going right now is just, so many of my friends absolutely don't even want to deal with WWE right now, and I don't blame them. As a content creator, I'm pretty much forced to watch, but I'd be lying if I told you I was thoroughly entertained week by week, because I've not been. And I haven't been for a while, but I still watch because I absolutely love wrestling. It's my job. It's my income to talk about wrestling. So I do have to remain loyal to my work, and I have to look at this objectively too. I'm not going to bash WWE as much as I am going to be honest with you guys about the way technology is going. Cable television is on a huge decline. You know, we can't look at Attitude Era ratings and compare it to this era's ratings, because it doesn't go hand in hand. Technology wasn't advanced like it is 20 years ago as opposed to now. You know, like, of course, people were going to watch every single week back then. The internet wasn't even a thing in the late 90s when the Attitude Era was established. You know, of course, people did have computers, but social media wasn't around back then. So I think people have to look at this with a very open mind and look at this very objectively. Streaming services are at our fingertips. You know, we have Hulu, Netflix, we have Amazon Prime Video, YouTube Red. Having a multitude of streaming services at the snap of our fingers is also what's really hurting cable network and cable television in general. It's not just WWE ratings that are on a decline, it's all these networks. I'm sure VH1, MTV, all these different networks, they're all hurting, you know, but like I said, we can't look at Attitude Era ratings and compare it to today's day and age ratings. What we have to go off of is last year's ratings to this year's ratings. So that is what I'm going to be directly looking at. And first and foremost, we'll never have 6.4 million ratings like they did in the Attitude Era. That's just honestly delusional. We can't think delusion. We have to think reality. Reality is at least 3 million viewership per week. So Wrestling Inc. reported very recently in April 2018, late April 2018, after the Superstar shakeup for 2018, they had, for Raw, a 3.6 million viewership. It ranged from their low points, which was 3.1 million, to their highest point, which was 3.6 million, and that was in the April to May range. We're currently in May right now. 2 weeks ago, Raw had a staggeringly, egregiously shocking lowest rating of all time, which was 1.8 million for the third hour. 1.8 million. That week, their highest rating for that specific week, which was April 30th or April 29th, one of those days, was a 2.2. Now, with this BS, and it's BS, this wild card rule, super stupid, because Vince thinks, oh, we got to get Roman on the card. That's why the ratings are down. No, you dumb motherfucker. The ratings are down because there's no continuity. Your creative team is stale as fuck. You give the women 3-minute matches because Ronda Rousey is not there anymore, so you don't give a fuck about the women. That's the God's honest truth. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's be real. That's the real fucking tape. The wild card rule is Vince's way of panicking. He knows that the ratings are down. He thinks the reason that Raw is doing bad is because Roman's not on Raw. Now, granted, that's absolutely stupid to think that, by the way, but granted, the ratings did improve so slightly. Not a whole lot. The first hour of Raw, the 8 o'clock hour, 2.4. Second hour, 2.2. And the third hour, they just grasped the 2.0. It did not go down to 1.9, but it barely hung on to the 2.0 million, of course. And it's still really, really bad. It's not like a huge upswing. It's barely surviving. And looking at April 2018 to April 2019, it's over 1 million viewership decline. That's over 30% of a decline from April 2018 to April 2019. And even May of 2018, they still were getting 3.2 or 3.3 million views. Now we're only getting, what, 2.1 million? That's over 1 million lost viewers. Your traffic is down almost 40%. That's huge. That is massive. We're not talking 5-10%. We're talking almost half. Okay? That's huge. That is really scary. Times are really scary right now in terms of WWE. Now, what I want to do is I want to give ways that they could rectify to make it more appealing for the masses to be invested in their product. So I've created a list of things that WWE could do differently. And this is, of course, just my opinion. But some of these bullet points are very important in terms of how I think the company can grow and succeed with AEW burgeoning on the horizon. AEW, I think, is going to succeed only because they know WWE is really struggling right now. And I think they're going to do the opposite of what WWE is going to do. As you know, Cody was there for years, so he kind of knows the ins and outs. He knows what's going to work and what's not going to work. So I think, and Jericho, of course, how am I forgetting Jericho? Jericho is a fucking legend. He knows exactly what's going to do well and what's not going to do well. He's got his finger on the pulse, which is why Jericho's always known to jump from company to company. He knows what's going to be good, you know, so which is why he joined on to AEW. He knows what's going to be a hit. And I think that that's what's going to maybe help WWE stop resting on their laurels. They've got a ton of accolades, a ton of historical moments. And I think that's where they kind of get too complacent because they rest on their accomplishments. They don't want to do better. They just want to rest on their goals and their accomplishments and things that they've already achieved instead of continually making history. Continuity is so key in professional wrestling and entertainment in general. And that is where they are plummeting, in my opinion. So I definitely think AEW is diametrically different in that regard. I think that they are going to look at it and come across from another angle, and that's how they're going to succeed. They're not going to rest on their laurels. They're going to build instead of build history-making moments and then go on the decline. I think they're going to continue boom, upswing consistently. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to do that because Cody, Jericho, they've been there for years. They know how Vince McMahon is. They know that he's stubborn. So getting into how I think WWE can improve their drastically low ratings and rectifying the situation as soon as possible with AEW on the rise. So the first thing I would do differently, I would tell more compelling stories. Having good storylines convinces the fans to stay focused and not turn the channel off. You know, that is important. Having good continuity within your storylines keeps people invested, focused, and enthused to continue watching the product. 2, stop giving away big matches on non-top 4 pay-per-views. For example, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Don't get me wrong, Money in the Bank is a big pay-per-view, but it's not a top 4. Giving that away with only a 4-week build on Money in the Bank, to me, is mind-boggling, dumb, stupid, idiotic. What are you doing? You know, this is a big marquee SummerSlam match. Why would you give this away with just a 4-week build for Money in the Bank? I don't get the correlation there. That is stupid. That makes no sense. This could be your biggest SummerSlam summer feud that you have, and you're giving it away with just a 1-month build? Just because AJ Styles got drafted to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, you're going to automatically push that feud down everybody's throats right away? Stop rushing things. Let things build organically. 3, give more meaning to every match. Have more title contendership matches. Don't just hand out title shots, and stop the automatic rematch clause. You said that you were going to stop that a year ago, but you're still doing it. You're still doing it. So that has to end. It needs to be more like a realistic UFC kind of thing, where if you lose your title, you got to work yourself right back up. No more automatic rematch clauses. That should be incredibly obsolete. I think that is very outdated. That's a very outdated, methodical way of doing things, in my opinion, especially in the entertainment industry, in the pro wrestling business. Once you lose, you got to work yourself back up again. You got to start from the bottom, work your way back up to the top if you really want that title. That's the way I look at it. Number 4, more unique characters, such as Bray Wyatt, Lars Sullivan, so on and so forth. I want to be invested in characters that are unlike anything that's come before. Different. That's why I like the Firefly Funhouse gimmick, because it's so different and innovative. You know, I want a new Goldust in this era, something unique, something different, you know, something that we're not used to. 5, stop relying on your part-timers to sell tickets and put asses in seats for these shows. You need to currently build your current superstars, make them household names. Seth and Roman can't just be the only ones that are putting asses in seats. You need to have newer talent to put asses in seats. Build the McIntyres, build the Andrades, build the Sami Zayns. You know, the fact that you give these guys a little push and then reel it back, give them a push and reel it back, give them a push and reel it back. Elias is another perfect example. You gotta consistently build these people. Make them credible. Stop with the 50-50 booking bullshit. Stop give and take. Stop that. That has to end. You have to push someone, skyrocket them. Stop having them lose and then win, lose and then win, lose and then win. It just eradicates all credibility. It makes them useless. You know, it's futile at that point. What's the point if you're losing half the time and then winning half the time? If you want to be built like a star, you're going to have to be on a winning streak. I'm not saying like a Goldberg streak, but I'm saying you do have to win for at least a few months, you know, to make your build and your gimmick look credible. The 50-50 booking is killing so many characters. And furthermore, it's killing it for the fans. The fans don't know who to get behind, because what's the point of getting behind Bray Wyatt if he's just going to fucking lose every fucking week? You know? So that's something to also think about with this Firefly Funhouse gimmick. Sure, the gimmick's fine, but once he gets back into the ring, is he going to lose every freaking week, or is he going to win some weeks and then lose the other weeks? It's 50-50 booking, and it needs to end. I understand the 50-50 booking mentality, the way that they're looking at it from an angle, like it doesn't necessarily make the wrestlers look weak if they win and then lose, but it does, because if you want to push these people to be superstars, like that will sell out arenas, you can't have them lose often either. They have to consistently win. You know, if you're looking at it from the money objective, they need to win, 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 win. You know, they have to be like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. They have to be like a Rock. They have to win a lot more than lose. So that 50-50 booking doesn't cut it anymore. It doesn't. Completely eliminate part-timers in a wrestling role. You're literally hurting the full-timers so bad. It's doing so much more detriment than good to the full-timers, because the full-timers are unable to put asses in seats, because a lot of the times these fans are coming to the show because the part-timers are there. They're on the marquee. So to really build on these newer guys and girls, you have to invest, put money in, make their characters good, give them a lot of wins. That's how they become superstars for the men and the women. You know, Trish Stratus didn't become a star by losing every week. Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't become a star by losing every week. You know, they won a lot of their matches. They look strong in their gimmicks. They did well for themselves when they were in the company, which is why the 50-50 booking mentality is so problematic and outdated. It's so dumb. That is why you need to build your current stars. They're the workhorses. They're going to be there day in, day out. These part-timers just come on for the check. Make the product a little bit more edgier, blur the lines. Enough of this PG garbage. You could definitely get away with making the product a little edgier. So I think WWE is trying to do that. They don't want to lose endorsements and sponsors. I get it. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta do a little bit more. The PGBS, a lot of people see through that and it's just stupid. You're gonna get ratings by being a little bit more edgier, you know, push the boundaries a little bit, push the envelope a little bit, and you'll get a positive result by doing that. Just kind of resting on the PG image is just, it's really insipid and boring and lackluster, and people are going to see right through it so quickly, and we already do. So that's something I would definitely alter immediately because people are getting sick of it. The last thing I would do differently, I would incorporate a little bit of color here and there, and by color meaning blood. Blood definitely adds to a feud. I think, for example, perfect example, Shane McMahon versus The Miz. I think there should be a little bit of color in their Money in the Bank match, just because I feel like it's going to add so much more drama and fulfillment to their feud, because it's been such a personal feud with Shane attacking Miz's dad, and I think Shane having a little bit of color would be very, very good for the feud to culminate that feud. So having a little bit of color added to a feud when it calls for it is needed. I definitely think it's needed. It definitely adds more realism to the feud, and I think if that's what WWE is trying to go for, have a little bit of color here and there. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of color. I think color is definitely needed for certain feuds, and I think like Miz and Shane is literally the perfect example I could give as of currently. And color is beautiful. Like, it just adds more realism to the product, and I think that's so cool. And sometimes you gotta do that. So those are just some of my things that I would quickly rectify on a whim. Let me know if you guys liked, and what would you do differently to improve the ratings. So if you guys like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and follow me on my social media, of course, at Twitter and Instagram at ValinaWWE. Until next time, I will be back very soon. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Bye.